All right, welcome to Michael's Record Collection. On this edition, I'm happy to have with me from the legendary progressive rock band Nektar, Derek Mo Moore. Mo, how you doing?
Good.
It's good to see you. I know you guys have a brand new live release coming out in October, the beginning of October, called Sounds Like Swiss. It was recorded all the way back in 1973. Mo, what can you tell me about this recording?
We went into the Swiss studios to do the album, to do the recording, and I knew there was a recording made because it was for Swiss TV, but I could never find it, and it just turned up within the last few months. The guy who found it, he's putting it out with our help, and it's amazing to look back on it and see a show like that from 1973 is something that we've not seen before. So it's quite strange watching a 27-year-old playing.
So you've got a DVD component to this release, right?
Yep.
All right.
So
what do you
the DVD component is the actual recording that was made while we were recording the show. I can't believe that it was the actual film for the show because you could see all the people working the show, but it's a really great thing. And we added 2 concerts from Lausanne in Switzerland, 2 different concerts. So you've got 2 concerts and the DVD is a package.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this makes something like, I want to say 17 live albums from Nektar. What is it about live albums that you guys like so much and that your fans like so much?
I think live is a special way to go. I mean, even our albums that we have, they're all recorded live, and then we do overdubs. But the basic tracks are always live. Mm-hmm. We never do them like other people. They'll go in and they'll put the bass and drums down, then the guitarist will come in and do his bit. We play all together. And with the band, Ryche is our guitarist from Nektar now.
Mm-hmm. Just in case you were wondering who this dude is sitting next to Mo.
Ryche, how do you say your last name? Because I didn't want to mess it up.
Chlanda.
Okay.
Chlanda. And my first name is spelled funny too, so
he's a funny guy. That's why. So we've always recorded everything live in the studio. In fact, Drifting from the new album was the first take. We did 1 take and it came out great. So we used that take. We added the vocal and the piano under the vocal. That's exactly how it came out. So I think on albums and on live albums, the live feel of the whole thing is what carries it.
Mm-hmm. Is it the spontaneity of it, or is it just, yeah?
It's exactly that. Because we play pretty differently every night. Every night we're sort of a jam band. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit different every night. And when we do a show, it's a different show every night. So we have right now 4.5 hours of music. And we play anywhere from 2 hours to 2.5 hours a night, unless it's a short concert. For us is an hour and a half, and so we've got plenty of material to draw from, and we keep track of what we played when we were there. So we said we're playing Chicago on the next tour, which now is pushed back to February, March, April. We can look back and see what we played last time and play a different show. If we're doing 4 shows like we're doing in St. Louis, we do a different show every night. And that way, if somebody wants to come and see all 4 shows, they're going to get a different show.
Yeah.
You're going to get music that they didn't hear on the other nights.
That's fantastic. All right. What size venues are you doing on this tour?
Some are a little large. I mean, the last tour we did, which was in 2019, was a small, intimate tour. They were basically anywhere from 200 to 400. These this time are between 400 and 900.
Double what it was.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. We like the intimate venues. It really works well for us. I mean, I think once you get above, say, 3,000 seaters, the intimacy goes. 3 to 5, I think, is max. You're playing a 10,000 seater or a 20,000 seater, you lose all connection with the audience. And when, my opinion, when you're playing a large venue like that, or a stadium, which we've done, you pick 4 or 5 people up front and you focus on them.
Sure.
And then it projects more intimately out to the audience.
Yeah. What is it about Nektar's music that do you think has connected with people over the years? Because you're not a band that's had, top 40 hits, especially here in this country. Like you said, you play a lot of long jams. A lot of your songs are very long. Progressive rock fans obviously are used to that, but maybe to explain it to someone who isn't a big prog rock fan, what is it about your music that you think appeals to audiences?
Well, I think we tell a story. So a song might be 40-minute long or 30 minutes long, but it's a story. And we have a light show, and the light show tells the story in lights. In Europe, when you're playing a lot of different countries, it enables the people who are watching in a different language, to understand what's going on without understanding English. That was the premise when we started Nektar in 1969. That was the intention. It was a music and light theater. And with this band, we've got back to doing that. We have the original light show guy with us, Mick Brockett, and we are going back to the days of music and light theater.
Yeah. Going back to connecting with the audience, what's it like for you, having played a lot of shows in Europe, a lot of shows in the United States, and of course, in Europe, a lot of those venues, there aren't seats, so you got a standing audience. They're
you're sitting on the floor.
Yeah. What is that? What is the difference like for you as a performer?
Well, we're still standing up. I think it worked very well when we were young, and when we were playing to young audiences. They don't mind. I always insisted that they sat on the floor and got comfortable when we were playing back in them days. But today, I think our audience is a little bit older, and I don't think it would work so well. So we're playing places where they can sit. There are some places that have standing areas.
A dance floor.
A dance floor or something. It's optional whether they want to sit down or not. I don't know that I would want to stand up through a whole concert. But it's really up to the people.
Yeah.
Our audiences now go all the way up to 70 years old. And there's some young kids. We're starting to affect the younger crowd.
Tell the story about the 16.
Oh yeah. We were playing in New Jersey, and at the end of the show, this guy comes up and he's got his arms full of merchandise. He's bought every album that we brought with us, and his son was with him. And I said to him, "Man, it's great that you brought your son to the show, because we need to have new blood. We need to have new people." And he said, "No, you've got it all wrong. He brought me."
Nice.
That's great. He was 15 or 16 years old,
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about where you're at. You said you were in New Jersey. What's this paneled room you're in? Where are you?
This is Ryche's house.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm caught in the 70s, so I have paneling all over the place, I guess. This was my grandfather's house, actually, that we just inherited. Mo staying with me up in Jersey, and there's paneling here. That's not. It looks like a studio, but it's not. It's actually part of a kitchen that you're sitting in, and that we're sitting in. But
it is your studio.
But it is a studio as well. You know, the trick is with Pro Tools, you could be anywhere, right? You could be on a laptop and a monitor screen, any place. So we do record here too, and do demos here, and mix some things here too. But we do have another rehearsal space that we go, and Mo's up here now for a bit, so we could do some writing and we could do some playing, and we are trying out an in-ear system that we just bought for monitoring, and just we have things to do. But yeah, it's just the house.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad you brought up the that story, Mo, because or Rich. I'm glad you told Mo to tell that story, because I was going to ask you, are you seeing more and more people bringing their children and their grandchildren to Nektar shows?
Yes, we are. Yeah. Very much so. I think the band has an appeal to not only to prog but also to rock. We actually were a rock band before prog it was even invented, the name, you know.
Yeah.
We have a varying style, and you know, we play what we feel, really. I mean, we don't say, well, let's do this because it's in. We play what we feel we want to play. And usually it's got several time signatures, you know, but it's just the way we play. It's the way that we've always played.
I know you were doing a couple of your classic album sides. Is that continuing on with this next leg of your tour?
Yeah, the new tour is Vinyl Live. And what we've done is we've learned, let me think now, we've got all of Tab, we've got all of Recycle, we've got all of Remember the Future, we've got a lot of Down to Earth, we've got all of the other side, the new album, and we've got a smattering of the other albums. So we will pick one complete album each date to play, but there'll be plenty of the other music mixed in. So you'll get part of Remember the Future, or all of Remember the Future, or one side of Remember the Future, for example.
So going back to what you were saying about playing different things every night, you've got somebody might come and see all of Tab and the Ocean one night, and then the next night they might see all of Recycled.
Right.
Yeah.
And we may have a smattering of Recycled. We maybe pick one song out to play from Recycled. In that case, you can pick parts of an album apart to play, and it will give you a feel like you've heard at least some of it. But I don't think you could play a concert without some Remember the Future. Right. Because Remember the Future was the biggest thing we had. It was number 19 in the charts here. Yeah. In the States. Now, we were supposed to be going out next Tuesday, was the start of the tour. 21st. And Ron, the drummer, had to have a procedure, and it's knocked him out. He's going to be at least a month before he can play. So we had to move the whole tour into the end of February, March, April. Whereabouts are you located, did you say again?
I'm in Orlando, Florida, yeah.
I think we're trying to come down to Florida.
We'll be in Rozfest. We'll be in Rozfest. Hopefully in May, I believe, which is Tampa, I think, or
Tampa, St. Pete area,
Sarasota.
Okay, yeah.
Great. That's certainly in the pencil mode right now.
Okay, I didn't remember seeing that from Rozfest, so maybe we have a little scoop here.
Yeah, I don't see that either, but I see it in our schedule, because we get the schedule as it's been worked in. And it looks like one of the days we're probably going to be there.
That's great.
So,
I haven't been since it's been in Florida. I've actually traveled from Florida to Pennsylvania to go to several Rozfests, so I know it's a great time.
Yeah. It's a great place to play. We're also looking at that Prog on the Farm. Is it Prog on the?
Yeah, Prog on the Farm.
Yeah.
Where's that? Where's that?
It's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I got an invite the other day to go to that. And certainly we want to come down to Florida. We want to try and find some good prog areas. Sarasota seems to be a big prog area.
Yeah.
And parts of Florida are not prog at all.
Yeah. South Florida is a little more Latin rhythms and R&B and rap and hip hop and that kind of thing. But yeah, the Tampa Bay area, you know, you've got a few local prog bands over there. You've got that's where the Cruise to the Edge sails out of.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of the bands that don't do a lot of southern dates will still come down and do maybe Orlando or St. Pete or Tampa.
Yeah,
so,
I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that probably before it gets too warm.
Yeah.
We intended to do that in January, and it's really blown everything out. So we're in the process now of rehearsing and writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to do another album in August, maybe, or July.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have an album out called The Other Side, and that came out in 2020,
right?
March, right when the COVID hit.
Oh no! So you haven't really gotten a chance to tour that album much.
So that is being re-released in October, and it's going to have not only the album, it's going to have a radio edit of Drifting, which we're going to release as a digital single.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to have a DVD on the making of that album, and when we actually started the band all the way through to our first concert, which was Progfest. Progstock, right.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned 1969 is when this band was formed, and I got to ask, what keeps you going all these years later?
The music, really. I mean, I had a long time when I was in construction for many years, and I sort of kept tabs on what was going on, and then Ron called me to put the band together, and Rich was my first call, and we've been friends for God knows how long time, and we wrote a lot of music together back in the 70s, and so we got together, the three of us, and it was just magic. I think once you get a group of guys where it triggers. Me and Ron have played together for 55 years, probably. Long time. And yeah, there's been long periods when I've been doing other things, and he played all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we get back together, it's like, boom, we're in.
Can I say something? Let me just say something. When these guys get together, Ron being the drummer and Mo being the bassist, you could feel that history, man. You know, you could really feel that, those decades of knowing and feeling this thing happening. It's really pretty amazing when you see that, when it's broken apart and you get to see what they're doing. You can see they know each other. They know each other's moves, like a psychic connection they have there.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's really great to have a rhythm section that's been together as long as you guys have. You know, Mo on bass, it's Ron Howden on drums, Rich on guitars. You got Randy Dembo on bass pedals, backing vocals. Kendall Scott on keyboards. Who else? Who am I missing?
Mick Brockett.
Mick Brockett.
He's the light. He's the music and light theater guy.
Okay. How do you mentioned your 2020 album? How much of it are you going to be able to play live and yet feel like you've satisfied your longtime fans by playing a lot of the classics?
Well, you play for 2.5 hours. And you can drop a few in here. I'm going to tell you, on the last tour, about halfway through the tour, we started opening up with The Other Side, which is the longest track. It's 18 minutes. People loved it. You know, the thing is about Nektar music it encompasses a lot of different directions. So if you've got something that's melodic, that's telling a story, people are interested in it. You know, that's the bottom line, you know. I mean, we've just did, we're Drifting, the one I was telling you about that we did live in the studio. That is coming out as a digital single. It's 9 minutes long. But we did a DVD for it. So you're going to be able to see a DVD with the music.
A video for
the music. And it's going to be on 24-bit, which is going to give it a lot more depth. It'll be a download. You can't get 24-bit on a CD. And it'll be something that people are going to want to have.
Yeah. How have you embraced the digital era and Spotify and streaming services and all of that?
You have to. It's there. We're in a new era. I mean, when we did our album, it was recorded digitally with Pro Tools. So everything was, but the studio was pure analog. We had an analog board. We had analog equipment. It was fantastic. And you could just record it onto the digital, and then you could move stuff wherever you wanted to do. The engineer, Joe, was incredible.
Pretty great.
Yeah, really. Surefire Studios, Joe DeMeo is absolutely awesome to work with.
At the risk of the health of your wrists, are you guys signing autographs after shows for fans?
We're going to talk about. We have a Zoom meeting every Tuesday, and we're going to talk about that tonight. We're looking for something different. We're going to have some things I think that are going to be pre-signed. We're going to have a storytelling VIP where they're allowed to come into the sound check, and we show them what sound check's all about. Of course, we'll be getting the sound ready for the concert, and then they'll be able to ask questions, and we can talk to them from the stage. I don't want to risk getting too close.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not afraid of it. Neither of us are afraid of it.
Yeah.
But you can't be stupid either. If you're doing a tour, you've got to be healthy through the whole tour.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to do 30, 40 dates. And we want to keep healthy through them 30, 40 days, you know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, an outbreak in the band can derail a tour for a long time. So
it stops it dead.
Yeah.
But what we're thinking is we'll keep our distance. If somebody wants something signing, they'll have to send it to us. I have no problem signing stuff, but I don't want to be like we are right now, close.
Yeah.
And I do want them to have a special experience, which I think what we're planning to do with the sound check will make it a special experience if somebody wants to do a VIP and get to know us, be a distance, but they'll get to know us. They'll get to take pictures that other people can't take because they won't be there for the sound check. You know, I think we also have a grab bag, a bag with a Nektar man and things in it for that part.
And we'll have instruments on too. So it'll be fun if they want to know where this riff came from or whatever. It'll be a different dimension that we can with that way too. So it opens that up.
That's very cool. Are you doing any kind of a tribute to Roy Albrighton on this tour?
Yeah. Actually, the other side comes from that. He's on the other side now. And one of the songs that we did on the album is called Devil's Door. And Devil's Door we wrote in 1974. I think we were in Chicago when we played it the first time, and we decided that we were gonna revamp that, finish it because it was never finished, and we were gonna use it on the album. So we sat down and it came time to record it. And we'd already played it, so we'd rehearsed it before we came there, and we sat down to listen to the original version that we did in 1974. And the guitar was so crystal clear that we decided we would use it on that track. So we actually, if you look at the DVD that we did of the making of, that was on it. That piece where we decided we were going to do that is on there.
It was in the studio that it was filmed, just that idea that happened. It was Mo's idea that, and it worked out beautifully.
Yeah, we were deciding how we were going to do it, where the band would come in and where the band would take over. But it sounds, I'm going to tell you, we all felt that Roy was in the studio with us, all of us. It was amazing.
Yeah. The late, great Roy Albrighton. Is it true that you invited him to join the band via telegram?
Yes. We were in Hamburg, and Colin, who was our guitarist at the time, the band was called Prophecy, and we decided that we were going to ask Roy if he wanted to join us. And I sent him a telegram, and he sent a telegram right back. Yeah, I need some money to get there. Typical musician, you know. Yeah. So I sent him some money, and he came, and we talked. We got on really well, and that Friday we did a gig, and we jammed the whole night. We'd not played together. Mm-hmm. It was on Friday. Okay, let's play this, let's play that, and we jammed the whole night, and it was great. And we decided if it turned out not to be great, hold on, my watch thinks I fell over. Crazy thing. If it turned out not to be great, then we were going to call the band Pollen. And if we had a good gig, we were going to call it Nektar. And then after the show, reporter asked us the name of the band, and we said Nektar. And we put a K in it because it just looked better. We didn't realize at that time that Nektar with a K was German. It's a German version of Nektar. Mm-hmm. But it worked out both ways. I mean, we lived in Germany for 11 years. So we played to German audiences are awesome. They're not interested in pop music. They're not interested in anything but what's new. Whatever you want to play for them, they'll listen to. And I have to say that the audiences over here are very similar. Maybe not as widespread as Germany, but if you're playing a quiet part, you can hear a pin drop, you know, and that's when you know they're really into it.
Yeah, for sure.
If they're talking, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. You can both answer this question. What music got you into music? Like, what did you hear that made you think you wanted to be a rock musician?
You want to go first?
Okay, because it's a hard one. You want me to take it first? I know.
Yeah, that's a pro move. Now he has time to think about his answer.
I know. I don't know. My dad was a Juilliard violinist, and my mom was his student. So it was music all around. So we're listening to jazz and the Everly Brothers growing up and stuff like that. I'm thinking the Beatles. The first time I saw the Beatles, like, just really put a pin in it for me, just to say, yeah, there's something here that I want to investigate. I'm saying the Beatles back in the old days.
All right.
Okay.
Don't say the Beatles now.
No, actually, the Beatles were a huge influence on me. Huge.
I know.
My sister was a classical pianist, and she taught me to play piano. So listening to her, I couldn't wait to learn how to play. And I was 7 years old when I started playing classical music. Mm-hmm. And then when Bill Haley came out, of course, and everybody wanted to do that, and I started playing rock and roll piano. And I played for a band, rock and roll piano. I was playing piano, nut rocker and all these things. And the bass player left. And so I had to play bass, or we didn't have a band. And I played bass, and I played a little bit different because I come from a piano, so I know all the notes. if you put a chord down, I know what's all the notes in there, you know.
Yeah.
And then when the Beatles came out in '62, I think it was, they were so different. I loved the melodic basses that the Beatles had. So although we didn't play Beatles music much, really, but they were really a strong.
They have an effect on them.
They have, yeah. They were the ones responsible for music today, because before them, everybody had music written for them. Somebody would write the music, and they would just play it. The Beatles showed you that you could write music too, and almost instantaneously, even the Rolling Stones were showed by the Beatles that they could write songs. You know, the first song that I think, what they call the song they wrote for, the Beatles wrote for the Stones. I don't remember the name of it.
I just was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah.
It slipped my mind, but
That
did happen.
Yeah. And I don't remember the name of it. But he showed the Stones that you could write music. And they started writing their own music.
Yeah.
That was basically Mick and Keith that did all the writing.
So Beatles is our answer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Definitely Beatles was huge.
Yeah. What was it about progressive rock, or what became known as progressive rock, because as you pointed out very astutely that it wasn't a term back then. What was it about that style of music that appealed to you more, that, like you said, you heard the Beatles, you were instantly, taken to a new place, and now you're writing music, but you're writing these long, intricate musicianship focused songs rather than 2.5-minute singles. Where did you make that turn?
Well, really pretty much from the beginning of the band, we found music that linked into one another. Some music that I'd written back in Istanbul in 1966 would join up with something that we were doing, and we learned how to weave the music together and to tell a story. A lot of that was probably because of the light show, because it was continuous. But I mean, the first piece we wrote that length was Journey to the Center of the Eye, and that was, I think, 46 minutes long, and we had to play it as one piece. When we went to the studio, they had no Dolby, they had no DBX, so you had to play the whole 45 minutes, because you couldn't cut it. It would have gone boom when you started it up. So I guess you get into the music pretty deeply when it's that long. You really and you're able to jam on it and change things a little bit, and little nuances that happen. I like longer pieces. When we put the other side together, that was a real challenge, right? I mean, there's a lot of different time signatures in there, and a lot of pieces from different eras. A lot of stuff that we wrote back in the '78 are scattered through that whole album.
Yeah.
Where is the best place for folks to order or to get Sounds Like Swiss and the new album?
You can buy them both on our store. The shop is at nektarsmusic.com. That's NEKTARS music, MUSIC.com. That's our website, and you can buy both albums there. If you're in a foreign country, the postal rates are horrible. If you're Canada or England or Spain or South America, the rates for the post are awful. And there are other alternatives where you can buy stuff where the post is not as bad. I would suggest 4 or 5 people get together, buy an album each, and send it in one packet. It'd be a lot cheaper.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. So you guys are on Facebook. Do you have a Twitter or an Instagram also?
Yes,
you do have an Instagram.
We have our Instagram page is linked to our Nektar the Legendary rock band site. Let me have a look, see if I've got it here. I thought I had it. Yeah, Nektar Facebook page is Nektar Official. Nektar the Legendary rock band. The website I've given you. There's Nektar Appreciation Society, and there's one that's just Nektar.
And all the links for everything else to socials are like right on that site.
Yeah. If you were to go on the website, you can get into all the Facebook pages. Great. We try to make sure that each of the pages are getting an idea what's happening on the other pages. If we're going to release something, we release it to all the sites so that everybody gets a feel for what's going on.
Great. Well, Mo Moore and Ryche Chlanda, thank you so much for your time. You've been very generous with it. I wish you nothing but the best with the new live album, the CD DVD release, and the 2020 release that just came out, and the tour when you finally get it wound back up. I look forward to you guys coming down to Florida.
Yeah, you got to come and see us.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you being on Michael's Record Collection, and you guys want to hit subscribe and like me on Facebook, and if you have any questions, go to michaelsrecordcollection@gmail.com. Send me an email. Thank you, Nektar. We look forward to seeing you live.